Hi Birdies! This is Crow, and today I'm going to be doing a Yaoi Manga review on Liquor and Cigarettes by Zariya Ranmaru. It's a cute story, and I'm really excited to get into it, so let's jump in. So, like I said, the name of the manga is Liquor and Cigarettes, and it is by Zariya Ranmaru, who, if you don't know, is one of my favorite yaoi mangaka. She's wonderful, and I love her. It is rated M for explicit content. That is to be expected from a yaoi manga, but just in case you were wondering. And it is a one-shot, so this is the only not the only copy. This is the only volume. There's no volume 2 or 3. And in this case, some one-shots do have a counterpart. So like Therapy Game is a spin-off of Secret XXX. This one does not have any type of spin-off or sequel, anything like that. It's just Liquor and Cigarettes. So that being said, let me go ahead and read to you guys the summary that's on the back of the book. So Theo runs the town liquor store. Too bad he's a total lightweight. His lifelong best friend, Camilo, runs the cigarette store across the street, and recently he's been making his attraction to Theo quite clear. Unsure of how he feels about dating a man, Theo accepts Camilo's offer of a trial run at dating, and with a little liquid courage and a lot of heavy petting, Theo sees a whole new side of his childhood friend. Will these experiences clarify his feelings or only serve to further muddy the waters of love? So, a normal kind of romance type, the common childhood best friend trope, pretty much. So, on the front here you can see this is Camilo. He is the cigarette shop owner, and this is Theo. He is the liquor store owner, as you can tell by the cigarette in the liquor bottle. Now you can kind of see it a little bit better. So, first of all, let me talk about Camilo and Theo, what their personalities are and whether or not they're cool or not, I guess. Theo is your normal, just confused gay disaster who doesn't know he's gay yet. In this case, at least, he doesn't know. He's been straight all his life. He's only ever dated girls. And like it said, Camilo and Theo have been best friends since childhood. He's never really thought of them as anything more. Camilo is more of the level-headed, kind of buff teddy bear. He's super sweet and very even-mannered. He's not a kudere at all. He's not, like, expressionless, but he's not very outspoken either, the way that Theo is. Theo is kind of the throw a fit about something very loudly type person. Their relationship is really cute. I do enjoy it. There is a little bit of problems with their relationship that I'll get in warnings and my least favorite parts. But as far as their relationship itself, it is cute, it's sweet, it's very much the childhood best friends, and one of them fell in love with the other, and the other one didn't know about it until recently, and now he's confused and going through all those motions. It is a normal type, it's the plot line you would expect from this kind of book. Now, the side characters are Eland, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, Marino, and Diego. Diego especially is kind of like the antagonist. He's the one that he doesn't force Theo to enter the wine drinking competition. He just rattles him and works him up until Theo is just like, fine, I'll do it. Not nearly as sassy though. More of an angry, imagine angry, I can't do angry very well, and saying, yes, I will do it just so you will shut up, and I'll show you, and then of course he can't show him, and that's how the whole thing ends up with Camilo. Trial runs of dating and trying to hold alcohol at night, and then he ends up drunk every night. It's quite fun. But I do like all of the side characters. They're very much their own, they're fleshed out. They don't feel like extras. In a lot of books, you know, you don't want to deal with them. You know, they're the side characters. You want to get on with the relationship. You don't want to have to read about these extra people that don't mean anything to the story. I really like these characters. I enjoyed reading about them. Their interactions felt natural. It wasn't a forced type of thing to like give something more to the plot. it was very seamless into the other characters' daily lives. Now, my favorite part, and I guess this kind of goes into my favorite analogy in this book, also goes into Diego as well, because Diego does perpetuate this. The thing that I thought was so cool about this manga is that a lot of yaoi manga doesn't really talk about sexuality, other than to just deny flat out that they're not gay. That happens quite a bit. But in this, Camilo is very openly, he's bisexual. He doesn't hide it, and even tells Theo, like, well, if you ever think about experimenting, you know I'm bi. I don't care. Except he does care. That's part of the problem. He does care. Marino is gay, and Diego is very much straight, but it's actually kind of fun because Diego just doesn't care that all of his friends also like guys, and he's totally cool about it. Even saying that Marino hugging him while he's shirtless is harmless. He's harmless, which is so cute. That being said, it's less about, in this story, in a lot of those childhood tropes, you will see the childhood friends trope. That's probably an important word to add in there. The childhood friends trope is, a lot of times, it's a lot less about sexuality as it is about, this is my friend, he's like family, but is he something more? Theo goes through that, as well as, wait, I'm straight, am I? And there's actually a scene where he looks up Camilo's World, which is just a mature gay website. I will let you fill in the rest with your imagination. And that was something new. I had never seen that in a manga, and I thought that was really interesting because it was really realistic. If I was going through something like that, of course that would be one of the first things that I did if I was as clueless as Theo is in this. And I thought that was a really interesting addition because it made everything feel very real and well thought out and natural. Again, I keep saying natural, but it was. Everything felt like it just went along so well. It didn't feel like there were any like hicks or these wonky type of transitions or jumps. Like, one minute he's straight and the next is, oh, of course I'm gay. But Camilo, how would I feel about Camilo? Camilo and him being gay are like one package, and he's sorting through both of them at the same time. And he's going through those types of struggles at the same time. That being said, there is an analogy in this manga that I didn't pick up until the second time that I read it. The whole thing about Theo being a lightweight that owns a liquor store. He's supposed to be in this wine drinking competition because that's what all the liquor stores do. Diego also runs a liquor store and he won last year. And so that's what everybody is supposed to do. That being said, though, he doesn't want anyone to find out that he's actually a lightweight. He has kept it under wraps for a reason. He thinks that no one will respect him as being a liquor store owner if he's actually a lightweight. And this is one of the reasons why I really liked Diego's character, because not only is he straight, he also runs the liquor store in town that's like Theo's rival. He's kind of stuck up about it. He's very much like, yeah, well, I won last year and I'm planning on doing it again. You know, that kind of character. But at the same time, he's constantly telling Theo, like, you know, everyone already knows you're a lightweight, right? You know, no one cares. And that was an interesting thing, as well as Camilo mentions earlier in the book. He says, your occupation and family business does not determine your genes. And that was interesting, and I didn't really give it any thought at first about how much of an analogy that is between owning a liquor store and being gay. Like, which is really weird to say, but keep in time with me. Do you understand what I'm talking about? I don't know. I can't talk to you. Like, I'm talking to you, but you can't talk to me. But do you get what I'm saying? I thought it was a really cool analogy, and I didn't realize it until the next time that I read the book. Which was also pretty cool because you always want to learn something new and get something new each time you read something again. And that was cool that I found something completely new that I absolutely loved when I read the book again. It's not really a criticism. it's just a least favorite part, and that is the kind of dubious consent that is in this book. And somewhat manipulation, the ongoing idea is that they're in a trial run for dating. Camilo continuously tells Theo, don't give me an answer yet, because I don't think it's the answer I want to hear. Or don't give me an answer until you have the right one. He keeps saying these types of things. I understand, in yaoi that is a common theme, and I'm not a fan of that. It also goes into the, I'm gonna stay up with you while you're drunk off your and you're gonna give me a reward. That's what he calls it, a reward. You can tell from the interactions that Theo, he's confused, but he doesn't really mind. However, when all of these things happen, he is intoxicated. I mean, pass out drunk type of intoxicated. He can't give consent, and that's where it kind of gets into that dubious consent territory. If that is something that bothers you, I would say don't read this manga. I don't like it's not really a trope. It's an ongoing theme in a lot of yaoi manga is dubious consent or just complete lack of consent. And that's one of my big criticisms or just things that I don't really like about the yaoi manga genre in general. Now, I will say that being said, though, it is very mild. It's a continuous theme in the book, but you can tell that it's not something that bothers Theo. It confuses him, but it doesn't really bother him. And that's probably why I still give this book such a high rating. Not really, I can separate the themes that I don't like from how good a story is. I believe that it is a pretty minor complaint, just because it's not violent, it is kind of manipulative. Again, I wanted to go through this because it is something that I didn't like, and it is something that I think people should be warned about if that's something that could potentially trigger them. With fan fiction in AO3, you have those tags saying, hey, there's non-con and rape in this fan fiction, or there is manipulation, or this is dubious, read at your own risk, that sort of thing. And you don't really get that in yaoi manga unless you go online and look it up. And some people don't know to do that, or especially in look at this. It's cute. It's not something that you would think has something that is potentially triggering in it. And I don't think that a lot of people think of it as triggering, just because that is the kind of society we live in. But I do think it is important for everybody to know what they're getting into, and if it does trigger you, definitely stay away from this book. If you're fine with it, I highly recommend this book. It is super cute, it's super sweet, it's a quick read because there isn't that waiting for the next volume to come out or anything like that. I read it in maybe an hour and a half, and it was pretty quick, and it is something that I keep on my shelf that I think, I'd like to reread that again at some point, which of course I did. And it is one of the ones that come up when I talk to people about manga they should read. This is one of the ones that come up before most any other one-shot I have read, especially because it is very much a one-shot. There's nothing that goes along with it. So that's about it, I think. I'm not going to give a number rating because I feel like there are too many that I love so much that I'd end up giving them like an 11 out of 10. And so I think that everybody should just make their own assumptions and take what they will from these videos instead of trying to give it a number scale. So let me know what you guys think. Is this something you would want to read? Have you read it before? And what are other stories that you would like for me to review, yaoi manga and fan fiction, because I am going to be doing some fan fiction reviews on here from multiple different fandoms. So let me know in the comments down below, and of course hit that like button and the subscribe button, and I will see you next week. Bye. Let's jump in.